I mean, yeah, I heard that from Andy Scheckman last week. I interviewed him. He said the constitutional or junk silver is, yeah, it's almost trading at spot, which is unusual. I'm not really picky. I just try to get the best deal in silver, and I think as long as you have silver, that's fine. Yeah, I think everything will do well. Here in the UK, I like buying the coins of the realm, like the 1 ounce silver Britannias, and basically physical demand for silver is overwhelming the paper market. And 3.5 years ago, a little more, we had the silver squeeze movement. And that didn't really go anywhere. We got to 30, and then there was a lid there, mainly because the big sovereign buyers of physical silver that we're seeing now, and also big investors, they weren't interested in silver. They might have been buying ETFs, but they weren't interested in physical. But now everything's changed. And I think that's why silver is picking up. And also silver has still to catch up with gold, because don't forget, gold in 1980 got to just below 900, and now we are here at I think 4,200 as we speak. And silver got to like around 50 in 1980, and it's just moving above 50 now. So I think, yeah, since mid-October, there's been a correction, and a lot of people weren't too sure if silver was going to make it back up. But I think this is very significant that we made it back up, and we've made a new high. Yeah, gold is lagging, but I'm not concerned about that. I think if you look at the gold-silver ratio, it's breaking down, which is a good thing. Back in the 70s and also in 2011, towards the end of the bull market, silver really caught up and went higher. And I'm not saying the bull market is near an end. Precious metals, I think, is far from over. But yeah, usually it's good to see silver leading the way.
The 2021 retail-driven silver squeeze faded below $30 under a wall of selling pressure. Large physical buyers simply didn't care. They were content with paper-backed ETFs, leaving the real metal untouched. That era has ended. The market floor today is defended not by internet traders, but by sovereign demand from the Middle East, Asia, and Eurasia. Central banks have become the ultimate dip buyers, anchoring prices whenever momentum stalls. Their motivation isn't to inflate the price, it's to secure scarce supply before future shortages tighten the market further. This quiet but relentless accumulation is creating a price floor silver has never possessed before.
For me, the most important aspect is that actually central banks, like in the Middle East, like the Gulf Cooperation central banks, even Turkey, Russia, China, they're all starting to buy physical silver. And I've even heard that Dubai now, they want to come up, well, they're creating a tokenized silver instrument. Basically, they want to make silver kind of money again, which is quite amazing. I don't know if you saw the other day, Dubai, they showed this silver bar. It was 1,971 kilos, so almost two tons. And yeah, they're really into silver. We saw that India is going to allow individuals and companies to use silver as collateral for money. For loans, excuse me. So yeah, up until 6 months ago, the reason people gave for silver underperforming gold was that, well, central banks only buy gold, they never buy silver. But that's completely changing, and I think that's huge. And I think the silver price, right now we are like in what one would call terra incognita, like we're in territory we don't know. It's never been there before. But yeah, I think there's such huge potential for silver now that central banks are getting involved. And unfortunately, in the West, very few people are aware of this stuff. I mean, you and I are aware because we listen to you listen to me, I listen to other people in the gold and silver space. But the mainstream is like completely like not really aware of it yet. Maybe the fact that like Tucker Carlson has started his own precious metals dealer might help wake people up a little bit. He's got a big following. So yeah, that's the major thing. These countries outside the West, yeah, they're going back to silver. Even Korea, South Korea, the central bank there has started buying gold again, but also silver. So, and we also seen, Elijah, that the United States and China, they've put silver on their critical minerals list. So everyone wants to get silver before those two giants get a lot more.
Global conflict and competition are accelerating silver demand. Both the US and China have now placed silver on their critical minerals lists, acknowledging its essential role in defense tech, energy grids, and semiconductor supply chains. India has approved silver as an accepted loan collateral, expanding its financial utility. The IMF warns central bank gold reserves must be rebalanced for multipolar liquidity. Silver now fits that need. Supply, meanwhile, is tightening. The metal powers solar panels, AI data centers, and electric vehicles, while mining output stagnates. This is no longer a niche thesis. It's a race for physical metal, driven by the world's biggest economic rivals.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in from '05 to '08, even though I was a futures and options broker for government bonds, we had a client that traded a lot of silver. And so I was involved in that. And I could remember $5 days when silver was between $15 and $20. So I don't see why we shouldn't see $5 days again, especially now that we are above 50. And I mean, as we speak here, we're just trading at 56, the spot price. That's a new all-time high. And we're actually up, Elijah, $2.60, which is half of, I guess, 5. But yeah, $100, I don't think it's out of the question. Back in 1979, I think silver was at $16 in November, and by even end of November, and by January 1980, it got up to 50. So it like tripled. So we could very easily double, and if we double, we're at 100. That's why I said that in my video from yesterday. We got like a few hours here on Friday. I'm not sure they'll be able to get it back below 50 from 56. And the other thing as well, if you do a long-term chart of silver and you draw that teacup that's been forming since 1980. The top of the teacup is around 51.50. So not only we're getting like record monthly closes, we're getting a technical close above that lid, which is huge. And the thing is, back in October, we went above that level, that lid. We went to 54.50 or 60 or thereabouts, and then we corrected back down to below 46 very quickly. And technically, that's very bullish. You retest the breakout by going back below the breakout, and now we've gone back above. So I'm not saying silver. I don't like to say, oh, silver will never go below 50 again, because I think it still could. You never know in the precious metals market, but the likelihood is a lot smaller today.
In 2025, Dubai showcased a 1,971 kilogram silver bar, nearly 2 tons, capturing the market's imagination. The UAE is launching tokenized physical silver-backed financial instruments, including projects inspired by silver-backed technology. South Korea has resumed gold purchases and, for the first time in decades, added silver too. Russia and Turkey continue expanding physical acquisition strategies. These moves are symbolic and strategic. Governments are rediscovering what civilizations proved for 5,000 years. Silver isn't just metal, it's liquidity. While crypto competes for attention, sovereigns are building monetary optionality in something tangible, scarce, and systemically important.
Yeah, I don't recommend at all for the average investor, especially if they don't have experience in markets, professional experience like I have and other people. Yeah, futures trading is just for professionals, I think, and speculators. And yeah, they shut the market down. Some people are saying, "Oh, they shut everything down. It wasn't just silver," but I don't know. It smells. It's a little bit suspicious. It's almost like yeah, they shut it down for hours. A CME exchange is probably the biggest exchange in the world, derivatives exchange. For them not to have backups and continue trading is kind of far-fetched, especially during this Thanksgiving weekend where the markets are a lot quieter. There isn't that much activity. We've seen a lot busier days where everything runs smoothly, especially back in October when silver was down massively. They didn't close anything down. Yeah, they're going to say, oh, it was a technical glitch. But yeah, physical, I always say you start with physical. That's how I started back in '03, buying physical silver. I had started buying gold a year earlier. Yeah, avoid futures, avoid ETFs. The reason I say that is because ETFs are just a promise. They they say they've got silver backing it, but I don't trust the banks. You've seen what happened today on the CME/COMEX. They just closed it. They could do the same thing with the ETFs. They could decide not to deliver to you or even big institutions. And then there's the mining stocks. If you want to get involved and get more leverage to the silver price, I don't see why not. It just depends on the individual. And yeah, because sometimes I guess if you don't have enough room, it's quite bulky to get physical silver. So it could be easier to own some silver producers. That's the other alternative, I would say. And again, not financial advice, like you said, just our opinion. I think people should remain calm. I try to stay even keel. Even on the way up, back in the beginning of October, the market went crazy on the way up, especially gold. I try to stay calm and not too excited. And the same thing when it corrected. Same thing now. But for people who want to get involved in silver, I would say don't go in all at once. I don't, if you have a certain amount of dollars, don't go and buy all of it in silver. Maybe dollar cost average, and don't worry about the price, because if you do it regularly, you're going to get a period when the price is corrected down. So yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. But it's getting I think we could see next week silver be very explosive to the upside. We could see a lot of volatility as well. And I expect the premiums to go higher for silver, because the dealers, when it's very volatile, they need to have a wider bid and offer spread to protect their profitability. So that's the only thing I would say right now.
Derivatives markets briefly froze recently, raising questions during a historically quiet Thanksgiving trading window. While exchanges blamed glitches, investors were reminded that paper assets, ETFs included, are promises, not possession. Bullion is different. No expiration, no counterparty, no digital denial. Shipwrecked treasure recovered centuries later still holds value because silver never stops being silver. In a landscape dominated by financial abstractions, physical metal remains the ultimate portfolio insurance. Not because it's perfect, but because it survives every monetary experiment, crisis, policy error, and bubble cycle that eventually shakes the system to its core.
Yeah, I heard that from Andy Scheckman last week. I interviewed him. He said the constitutional or junk silver is, yeah, it's almost trading at spot, which is unusual. I'm not really picky. I just try to get the best deal in silver, and I think as long as you have silver, that's fine. I think everything will do well. Here in the UK, I like buying the coins of the realm, like the 1 ounce silver Britannias, and I have some like pre-1920 sterling silver coins as well. Those are they're like the junk silver for the UK. And in the US, I would stick to silver eagles and pre-65 coinage. And I guess that if you have millions, of course, you might want to think about bars, silver bars, like 5,000-ounce bars and stuff like that. But for the small investors, yeah, stick to the coins and maybe some 100-gram bars and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's very surprising for me, and but I think maybe these central banks are waking up to the fact that yes, it's good to have gold as more of a reserve asset, but silver will provide more liquidity as well in terms of a day-to-day asset or money or currency to use for the general public. And I see that. I think it's Ronan Manley and Bullion Star. I'm not sure if it's together with Bullion Star. They're helping develop this token in Dubai, silver-backed token. So I'm not sure exactly yet what that's going to be like. But yeah, you could go to Dubai and use silver as currency. So I think, yeah, and that helps liquidity because you're not just focused on gold. You have like a bimetallic standard. That's how it used to be in the US prior to 1873. So I think this is truly historic, and it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise because we've been told that silver will never be money again or be used again, that you need to be into Bitcoin and cryptos. But maybe going back is what it's all about, going back to real money. I mean, Elijah, the name dollar comes from a silver coin called the Spanish dollar, and that comes from the Joachim's thaler coin. In Spanish, plata, which is silver, also means money. In French, argent means silver, means money. So, and we've only been, let's say, separated from silver as money for about 50, 60 years. I mean, in the 60s, a lot of countries still use silver as money and coinage. Yeah, and I think also the countries like China and others, they've seen how having a reserve currency that's controlled by one country is not a good thing, like what the US did. You get like Triffin's dilemma. So it's ironic that supposedly authoritarian and undemocratic countries like China, Russia, and the Middle East, they're the ones going back to sound money first. But even if they weren't going to go back to using it again as money and currency, I still think it's a good place to be, just as a wealth preservation and an insurance against currency debasement.
The structure is bullish. Breakout, retest, reclamation, and now new highs above $50. Silver could still dip, Volatility is native to metals, but the probability of falling through the floor shrinks each week as sovereign demand absorbs sell pressure. Doubling from here would land silver near $100, mirroring the 3x surge seen between late 1979 and January 1980. Markets don't move in straight lines, but major regime shifts move fast when they finally break. The crowd may not be ready, but the price floor is forming, the chart base is set, and the world's largest buyers are once again choosing silver before the story becomes mainstream.